This has to do with pain, unfortunately. Hi, Sally. I've been having more significant pain in my knees for about 2 weeks, and I'm trying to figure this out. If my pain is due to diet, no. Injury, slightly. Or if the pain is from other people, ding, 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 bingo. Or if it's because of the unrest in society that we've been experiencing right now, yes, that's also it. But that actually goes down to your feet. And can you and the guides give me any insight as the origins of the pain and how I can get rid of it? That pain is fear. Unequivocally fear. Or actually, truly, it's the question of, am I enough to do the things that I'm forcing myself to do? It's the am I enough? And what's causing the am I enough is the need to be perfect, the need for it to be just right, the need for anything you do to be the perfect and correct decision, the perfect and correct thing, to take things so far. And, it's mind your P's and Q's and make sure this is correct and don't show out and, it's so much. And your knees can't handle that pressure of perfection anymore. And I hear you saying, I'm not perfect. I have all these things wrong with me. May I ask you to possibly remember our teachings? All people are perfect in the eyes of the Lord and the eyes of the universe and in the eyes of love. So if you looked upon yourself with loving eyes, you would find the perfection. And the pain could have a chance to dissipate, because that pain is fear, pressure, anxiety, worry, mistrust, hatred, and rage, I'm afraid. And so I can help you by releasing some of it, but some of it is just going to come right back. And so your gift that you will do for yourself is to have a practice of gratitude. And I don't mean I'm grateful for, like God bless mommy and daddy kind of gratefulness. I want you to actually find and note things that are going right in your life. Like this morning, I woke up and I was in a little pain, and I instantly started focusing on the pain and how it was wrong. And then I went, wait a minute. I remember the time when I woke up and I didn't have the luxury of laying around in my bed and grousing. I had to roll right out of bed and get to work. I'm really grateful that I don't have to do that. And oh, by the way, this bed is really comfortable, and I'm really grateful for that. That's what I'm talking about. Turn it around. Turn that frown upside down. And do that before you even get out of bed in the morning. If your mind is instantly going to what you have to do, or what you did wrong, or what you're afraid to do, or what might possibly go wrong before you even put your feet on the floor in the morning, then bless you, darling, you're adding pressure to yourself. Okay, so start with the practice of gratitude before you even get out of bed. It changes your whole day. It truly does. And I want you to just let it come naturally and not force yourself to feel grateful for things that you know you should feel grateful for. There'll be no shoulding in this practice. If you don't feel grateful for something, then don't say it, even if you think you should. If you're grateful that your fingernails are growing out nice because you haven't had to work too hard, woohoo! Mine are growing. I'm grateful about that. If you are grateful that you don't have to get dressed up and go out of the house, be grateful for that. It doesn't matter. Find something little. Focus on what's right. Find some compassion for yourself. And in the healing, we'll work on clearing emotions that everybody has gathering around them. Okay? Okay. I believe that's all the questions we have for this week. And I promised that I would touch on something that the guys were talking about not taking on other people's stuff. What they wanted to talk about is why people take on other people's stuff. People come in categories, right? The people pleaser and the what's in it for me people. I need this for me, right? And they tend to go together. The I need this for me people tend to find the people pleasers going, oh, let me give this to you. As highly sensitive people, we feel the discomfort of others. We feel their irritation. We just feel everything, right? We know when people are displeased with us, and it makes us uncomfortable. You notice that. Or we know when people want things and we love them, so we want to give them to them, even though it's not in our power. Or we know when they're upset and we want to fix it for them. That's just what happens when we're sensitive people and we're giving and loving. That can run into trouble. And here's the ways it can run into trouble. Number one, if somebody is suffering because of a teaching moment by the universe, and we know the perfect way out, and we can fix it for them, are we not removing that person's learning and therefore condemning them to another lesson that's quite similar, only more painful? And what if you're not around for that? So while you can hand people a flashlight, I don't want you to take on their burdens. That's not your job. They get their life to live. You get yours. And this is starting when a child is about age 17. You need to let them fall down and stumble and say, I trust you. We'll find a good solution. Check back with me if you can't. But I think this one's on you, buddy, or darling, or dear, or whatever you want to say, if they have a problem. Because that's how you raise adults, not children. Now, if this person is an adult and you want to go in and rescue them and take on their pain for them, it's just not appropriate. You can give them a hand up, but you can't live their life for them. Now, when it's about scurrying around and making sure everybody is comfortable before you let yourself relax, I've had that problem. This is what I want you to say to yourself. You'll notice that you feel uncomfortable. You can't sit, you can't settle till you know everybody around you is happy. And you want to, give it, pluff up everybody and make sure running around doing everything for people. What is that doing for you? All it's doing is protecting you from uncomfortableness. What is it doing for them? It's teaching them to be helpless around you and knowing that you'll fix everything for them. It's teaching them that they can ask you to do pretty much anything, whether it's convenient for you or not, because that's how you've shown up for them in the past. Now, if these people are really short and can't wipe their own bottoms, for sure you should do everything for them. But if the people are pretty autonomous and can drive a car, that kind of thing, no, you shouldn't. It's not appropriate to do things for them. It's a terrible burden for you. And so what do you do when you notice that you're taking on other people's things and energy? Now, I'm not going to talk about the energy, we're just walking through a grocery store and you start crying. We're not talking about that today. We're talking about subjugating yourself, your own needs, for the needs of others. It's an epidemic and it needs to stop. Absolutely stop. And here's how to know you're doing it before you even do it. If somebody stops and talks to you and you feel pressure in your stomach and in your chest, they haven't even asked you to do something, but they're dumping their problems on you. You may even find it in your heart, your throat up here, heartburn heart, right? So I want you to notice your body is it feels, like it's bracing and pushing. That's how your body's smarter than you in this point. Your body can feel you bracing and pushing. And if you notice your body is bracing and pushing, then you're going to soften and get curious and say, what is it about this person that's causing me to brace and push? Oh, they are trespassing on my energy, and I'm letting them. That's what's going on. They're trespassing on their energy, and I have given them permission to do that. Own your part in it. Own that you are letting people trespass. That's on you. Okay? Because you taught them it's okay. Because it was easier to let them do it and do it for them than to teach them how when they're little, or to tell them no if it's, you see what I mean? It's too painful to say no, so you just do it. Ever been there? Yeah. So when you get curious about that, then the next thing you're going to do is say, if they're asking you to do something, do this. Take a few seconds. Don't say yes right away. Don't say no right away. There's a law that says you don't have to answer right away, right? And you don't have to incriminate yourself. It's the fifth, right? You don't have to answer right away. So take a second and flip the situation around. It's the easiest way to do this. Flip the situation around and say, is this something that I would require of any other human for me? Is this something that I would ask of any human, or even just particularly that person? Would I ask them to do this for me? And if the answer is yes, then understand that you're resisting because it's inconvenient and it's okay. And your body says you don't have the energy reserves, whatever it is. Just notice the resistance first and then flip it around. But if the answer is yes and there's still resistance, then understand your body's trying to protect you from overwhelm. Your body doesn't want to be overwhelmed. Your brain works really, really hard at not being overwhelmed. It does a lot of go away, or, eating things to make it calm down. Whatever it is, does a lot of stuff not to be overwhelmed. And we can talk about that later. But now we're talking about how not to take on other people's stuff. So the first thing you're going to do after that is understand it's okay to say no. And here's how you say no, the kind way. If it's not a family, or even if it is a family member, oh, I'm so happy that you asked me and thought of me to help you. It's just I'm not able to do that for you. Please forgive me. And leave it at that. And if they ask you again, you say, no, I just can't. I don't have the ability at this time. Or I don't, I have other things scheduled or whatever. And you just smile and thank them and say, I appreciate you asking me, but it's just I'm unable to fulfill your request. It's as simple as that. You don't have to get angry with them. And if they get angry with you, understand they're just having a temper tantrum. Like a toddler not getting, how many times you told a 2-year-old, no, you cannot have that cookie. And what does a toddler do? You've just told that toddler person, the childlike person who's used to depending on you to do every single little thing, no, you can't have my cookie. This is my cookie, and I'm not going to give it to you. Do you understand? And that's all I'm talking about, is protect your energy with the simple word of no. If you can't do it yet, keep practicing, but know that you're saying yes as a choice, and don't beat yourself up afterwards. You chose to say yes. Because when you beat yourself up, you're taking away even more energy. So how are you going to have the resilience to say no next time? Okay? So that's what I'd like you to know about that. And I will cover this again later. I'm going to be covering it with my friend Melissa in the Blissful Life Academy, the Discover Your Truth Blissful Life Academy Facebook group. And if you're not a member, message me. So now we're going to move to the energy clearing. So today we're going to take out four emotions, and rage, fear, disgust, and hatred. Doesn't matter who the rage is directed at, where the fear is directed, where the disgust or the hatred are directed. It matters not. We're just going to attach to those. Okay, I'm attaching to the vibration of rage, disgust, hatred, and fear. Right there. Fear is very elusive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of fear. All right, now we're going to ask for any duplicates. Yes, we've duplicated that. And now we're going to ask for any other patterns. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30 patterns. All right, so we duplicated that into 30 patterns, new patterns. All right, so I've connected with all of it. Yes. Is it ready to be released? No. What does it need? I want everybody to raise their right hand and say, I solemnly vow to honor my heart over the hearts of others so that I may serve them better. I'll say that again. I solemnly swear to honor my heart over the hearts of others so that I may serve them better. You know, putting your own oxygen mask on first. This is a self-care moment. You're not being selfish. You're not being rude. This is a self-care moment. You're going to honor your heart or yourself over the needs of other people just for a minute. Okay, that's good. You ready to go now? Yes, it is. Okay. And now release. Release. And release. Release. And release. And then release that. Oh, yeah, that was one layer. Now release. Release. There's the next one. And release, 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 release. There, now it's starting to come out. Release. And off it goes. I'd like you to notice if you're feeling a little lighter now. And I'd like you to breathe into the areas that may feel twingy and send them a little bit of extra love. And in this case, the backs of your knees. And the next message is the next time you go to do yoga, we don't do yoga as a should and have to. We do yoga as in where we are now, not where we're supposed to be or where the other people, because we have to do it that way. We're going to do yoga where we are now. And if it means that the knees don't want to do that, then they just don't want to do that. And we won't make them to make them better because it doesn't make them better. It makes them unhappier. Knees are very emotional. I know this. Mine trade back and forth all the time. No, I don't want to work. No, I don't want to work. So I want you to just have some compassion for knees. And the guides were singing a song the other day. All we are saying, just give knees a chance. That was for me, for my pleasure, but I'm sharing it with you. Just give your knees a chance. Okay. And with that, I'll see you in a couple weeks, and feel free to send your questions in. And remember, it's not your job to do everybody else's job. It doesn't keep you safe, and it doesn't keep them safe. All it does is make you overwhelmed, and it keeps you from healing and taking care of yourself. Okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.